Hey, this is Tony with Lone Star Worms, and today we're going to be doing an update on month 4 of the compost bin. We're going to be checking the progress and talking about some tips that you can use to get your compost to break down as quickly as possible. This was the start of our compost bin in March 2020 with about 20 bags of leaves from the yard and some grass clippings. Checking the moisture level and temperature of your compost is important so that you know when to pull out the compost and turn it. So you can use a moisture meter like this. We're looking at about 40% moisture level, which is good. If you find that moisture level is dropping below 40%, just add some water to it. The other thing that's important to keep an eye on is the temperature. Now, ideally, we want this between 120 and 140 degrees. So we see that this is around 100. That means it's time to pull it out and aerate it to get the activity going again in the pile. As the compost ages and settles, it leaves less room for oxygen. So it's important to pull it out on a regular basis and mix it up so that you can re-oxygenate the pile. Ideally, once a week or once every 2 weeks is a good frequency for pulling out your pile and mixing it up. However, it's summer in Texas and it's been 90 up to 100, over 100 for the past couple months. So I've only been averaging about every 4 weeks for pulling the pile out and mixing it up. Turning your compost pile with less frequency means that it's going to take longer to break down because you're not getting it enough oxygen. So if your goal is to compost as rapidly as possible, pull that pile out once a week, turn it, and then put it back. We can see from the color that over the past several months, it's composting fairly well. Maybe not as fast as I would like it to, but I'm just not going to be out turning a pile in 100-degree heat every week. And I'm not going to be using it until the spring anyways. I'll be using all of this compost in the spring to amend my raised bed gardens. To aerate your pile, just pull everything out, mix it up really well. And if you have any greens, you can go ahead and add them in at this point before you put it back into the bin. Getting a little help from the chickens here. This is actually their favorite time of the month when they get to pick through the compost pile. And over here on the side, I've got another large pile that's more twigs than leaves, so it's going to be really slow composting, and you can see it's really dry. And it's kind of cool, so we're going to go ahead and rake that out, aerate it, and add some moisture to it as well. The moisture level in the material was right where we wanted it, so I went ahead and just shoveled it all back into one bin. I have just a little bit left. What we're going to do is take some leaves that we've been saving and start a new pile in the other side of the pallet bin. Make sure and add some greens, some food scraps, or some nitrogen to your pile and get everything nice and damp. You don't want water running off, but you do want to have some moisture in there to help things get started faster. If you'd like to know how to make your own free compost bin out of pallets, check out the link above and I'll show you how I made this one. And if you're completely new to composting, we'll have a beginner's composting video as well. Here's just one last look at that twig and branch pile we have off to the side. And after mixing and aerating your pile, 24 to 48 hours later, you should see a reading up in the 140 to 150 degree range, assuming that you have the proper mix of carbon materials and nitrogen materials. Thanks for watching, and please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss upcoming tips on how to integrate composting into your gardening and reduce your impact on the landfill.